Meet Up with Mason. This is our first video podcast where we have an opportunity to engage with leaders from AURP from around the world. Our guest today is Ellen Hemmerly, who is the Executive Director at BWTECH at UMBC Research and Technology Park in Maryland. And today's focus is really about cybersecurity and the role of cybersecurity in our research parks and how our partnerships with industry and with our universities help to inform the role of cybersecurity and corporate engagement and research. So welcome, Ellen. Thanks for joining us.
It's nice to be here.
So the first question, give us an understanding of BWTECH and what the development looks like and the role that you play there.
Sure. BWTECH is affiliated with University of Maryland, Baltimore County, which is referred to as UMBC. And we're one of the 3 research universities in the University System of Maryland. We're located right out of Baltimore City, right on the 95 corridor. Our university is a mid-sized research university, about 14,000 students. We are very heavily STEM, and about 60% of our students are in the STEM fields. Our park has over 500,000 square feet of space, about 130 tenants, 2/3 of which are smaller, emerging, incubator and accelerating companies, and then others that are further along in development.
That's great. And, with the focus on cybersecurity and something that's really important both within the U.S. and internationally and how larger corporations engage with each other, talk a little bit about the role that BWTECH plays in convening those different cybersecurity companies and creating an environment for them to be able to share knowledge and learn and grow together.
Well, cybersecurity, and there's a lot of discussion about whether it's really a vertical or a horizontal, and it really is more of a horizontal. Every industry has to be concerned about cybersecurity. We've been doing incubation in our parks since 1989, and we found about 7 or 8 years ago we were getting more and more companies who were wanting to form businesses around cybersecurity solutions. And one of the reasons they came to us was because of our legacy and success in incubating companies, but also the university. Our university is very strong in cybersecurity, and access to the kind of talent that we have at the university was really important to these companies. And so over the last 7 or 8 years, companies have been coming to us, and we have close to 60 companies now that are working in the cybersecurity space, either developing products or providing services. And so it's become a really very important part of what we're doing. Of course, we do have companies in other industry areas, but as a state, Maryland is focused primarily on cybersecurity and life sciences. And so our park has really helped to address the cybersecurity piece for the state. And it's really a place where, quite frankly, most early stage cybersecurity companies are coming to get started.
That's great. And, with that in mind, tell us a little bit about, there's a cybersecurity incubator, right?
Yes.
That you help to seed those and gather those folks together. How is that structured, and what are the types of companies that are in the incubator?
Yeah. Our cyber incubator, it's an incubator that offers services that any good incubator offers. We bring in many industry experts who can work with the companies, mentor them. There are entrepreneurs in residence. We provide lots of help for these companies in getting the business acumen they need to create a successful company. But then also there is the talent piece. And at any one time, we have about 150 of our university students, primarily engineering and computer science students, who are working at our companies. And so that's an important piece of what we do, but then we also have some other programs that have evolved where we've brought in industry partners to really help us bring in more product companies and to really recruit companies nationally, not just regionally.
Wonderful. Well, I think it's just such an important piece too, and the big differentiator for a research park, taking that, whether it's a horizontal or a vertical sector, connecting in the talent pipeline piece to be able to help support those startup companies as well as the recruitment of larger international firms. And what better area to focus in around cybersecurity. One thing that I think about is always, what's the future? Where are things going? And cybersecurity being something that even in this short amount of time has evolved extensively, it just within the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Where do you see BWTECH's role in the future of cybersecurity and the things that you would see the university doing there?
Yeah. Supporting innovation is really what all of our incubators are about. We have several different incubators, but in cybersecurity, we're finding that a lot of the innovation is occurring in these early stage companies. And the larger companies are also seeing that. And so while the larger companies are investing, of course, in R&D, cybersecurity products and services are changing very quickly as a necessity because the risks are getting greater and the hackers are getting a lot more sophisticated. And so one of the things the larger companies now are doing, and this is where we play a role, they're asking us to help identify early stage companies who are working in areas of interest to them, recognizing that they can do some of the work that they need to do to innovate internally, but that they also have to find other ways to do it. And so a research park that has access to faculty who are working on critical problems in cybersecurity are really helpful to these companies. But then also these young entrepreneurs, they might be coming out of NSA, they might be coming out of SourceFire, who was acquired by Cisco several years ago, and they're starting their own companies. And so the interest from the large companies is really helping to create opportunities for these small companies, and it also helps fund a program like ours to enable us to do what we're doing.
That's great. Well, there's certainly a bright future around cybersecurity for BWTECH and the role that UMBC has there. And I think this is a great both snapshot of the role a research park can play within a community in partnership with industry, and provides a level of detail into a specific sector and what that can look like. So thank you so much for your time and joining us on our kickoff video podcast, and thank you for joining us on Meet Up with Mason. Hope to see you next time.